Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Commodity TV here at the London Mines and Money Show Resourcing Tomorrow. It's day 3 and we are approaching here now lunchtime. And yeah, we just found a company which we have met several years ago, I would say, Defense Metals, and we are now coming into the rare earth elements. And Craig Taylor, the CEO, is here with us. Hey, Craig, how are you?
Very well.
Yeah, good to
talk to you. Very good. Yeah.
Thanks for taking the time.
Thanks for having me.
Really interesting. Rare earth elements or rare earth metals are really, I would say, not only in high demand, but well thought for, because China is controlling, what, 80-85% of the markets, and you might be one of the next companies who will, find a solution in Canada to hopefully deliver them in the future. So give us a short idea about the company before we go into detail.
Okay, so we've been working for 5 years advancing and de-risking the company. It's a light rare earth deposit just north of Prince George, BC, 80 kilometers to the north with great infrastructure. So we have road access, we have the town of Bear Lake just to the west, and that has railhead, it has a highway, it has gas pipelines, we have electrical, a skilled workforce. So really we can ship what we produce, which could be 10% of global production once we're in production, anywhere around the world from that point, and we can also do processing there. So it's a very valuable deposit. It's a strategic deposit. We're at the pre-feasibility level, and we're due to be finished that mid-April and into feasibility by June.
Oh, okay. Into feasibility or have it ready?
No, we'll be finished pre-feasibility April and start feasibility in June.
Yeah. Okay, super. So pre-feasibility is already a great level, I would say.
Yes.
Can you maybe give us some indications what you found so far? Of course, you said you will finish that by April, but how does it look like? Are you happy with the numbers so far?
Fantastic numbers, fantastic. We just did an updated resource. So we have 35 million tons at a 2% grade, but because of the coarse nature of our mineralogy, we can upgrade to a 50% concentrate. And that equals every major producer in the world. Lyoness, Mountain Pass, Chinalco, Shenghe. So we're in a very good spot there, and we'll just keep going with those numbers. It's a 20-year mine life.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, it's quite a long, good mine life anyway. We're happy with that.
Yeah, and what rare earth elements in specific you would produce then?
This is neodymium and praseodymium, the two that are most in demand. So
like with the magnets.
Yes, and according to the figures, we have to double global production the next 10 years.
Yeah.
So that's the equivalent of bringing one Mountain Pass mine on every year for the next decade. And it's just simply not out there. So we're going to be part of the solution. We think we're going to be the next producer in North America. Yeah. And we can help with this problem, which is, obviously decoupling and securing our own supply chain in the West.
Yeah, fantastic. And I think you have your market you can supply just in front of the door, because you have in Canada and the US all the large car makers, the battery gigafactories, etc., and they need exactly your product, right?
Oh, they do. And the US military as well.
Of course.
As of 2026, the US military can no longer accept any military components with any traces of Chinese rare earths. Oh. So where are they going to get the feed? Yeah. Right now, Mountain Pass is the only producer in North America. We expect to be the second. And hopefully we can partner with some of the U.S. agencies for funding and for future production use.
Okay. Yeah, I see also funding shouldn't be a problem. Can you already give us an indication how much that might cost the capex? Is it in the order of 200 million, 500 million, $1 billion?
If we just sell a concentrate, it's 300 million US. If we go the hydromet plant option, which looks more like we will, it'll be more like 600 million US.
Okay, still makeable, I would say, with all that support you will get.
I think so. I think we're seeing more and more support from the West. I mean, the Chinese support, there's 100% through the government. So if the governments in the West are serious about securing a supply chain, they're going to have to open their wallets. Yeah. And we're seeing that more and more.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Open the wallet, I like that. The feasibility study, how long would that take approximately until finished?
I'm hoping the feasibility will be less than a year.
Oh, good.
Okay. So, a lot of the studies we're doing have already sort of got into feasibility level, so we can eliminate some of the time just with the extensive metallurgy we've done, the piloting we've done. So we're far ahead of the curve. We've worked very hard for 5 years to get to this stage.
Okay, so maybe let's say a hypothetical production scenario, 2027, 2028?
Well, 5 years depending. So we were just meeting with the Minister of Mines from BC. Obviously, there's a big issue in the world for permitting. Now we've partnered with McLeod Lake Indian Band. We're a very commercial band, so they've worked with Mount Milligan, they've worked with Site C. They've just announced a $6 billion green hydrogen project just to the north of us, a frac sands project to the east. And we're partnering with them, and the Canadian government, both federally and provincially, have committed to cutting down permitting times for companies in the critical mineral space that have partnered with First Nations. So we're hoping that we can do this within 5 years and be, again, part of the solution.
That would be super, yeah, absolutely, I can imagine. One thing is always key to me when we talk about rare earth elements, and that is metallurgy.
Yes.
Because rare earth elements tend to be a bit tricky to get it really out of the rock. Have you tested that already?
Oh, yeah, extensively. And that's the only reason we've been able to press forward. And so our metallurgy is some of the best in the world. As I said, we're at 2%, but we upgrade to a 50% concentrate. If you look at Linus and you look at Mountain Pass, you look at Bayan Obo, they're all in the 45 to 55% range. So we're right in there with the biggest players on the planet on the metallurgical side. And it's because we have the coarse grain mineralogy. Bastosite it's coarse grain where we are, and we can extract very easily from it.
Oh, wow, super. I mean, that I could imagine that lower the costs also.
Yes, extremely.
What margin we are hypothetically talking about at today prices?
It would be 60% margin for the project as of the PEA. Now that's all going to change with the PFS, but it looks like the PFS numbers are going to be much better than the PEA numbers. We used extremely conservative pricing when we did the PEA. We priced our NdPr at $100, whereas most of our peers have priced at $130 to $150. At $130, that puts our NPV at 1.6 billion.
Oh, wow. Well, that's a lot.
Yes. So, but with the $100 mark that we used, it was only at 560 million. So, I think we have a lot of room to grow with our numbers and with our metallurgy going into the PFS, going into feasibility.
Okay, super. What does it look like with cash today? Who are your largest shareholders? Because cash is king these days, right?
Yes, we have $5 million in the bank,
nice,
which is enough to get us through PFS. RCF was a big contributor to our last financing, and I think they're the second largest mining funder globally, and they did extensive research. It was 3 months of due diligence, and we passed muster, and that's a really good moniker for us to have. People hear that RCF invested, they know the due diligence, they do the research that they do, so it really bodes well for us.
So it was a big honor for you.
Yes, it was. It was. So yeah, they were the lead. They did 6.5 of the 12.5 million we raised in June.
Okay, super. Any other institutions? What is management share?
U.S. Global Equities is a shareholder. A lot of the vendors from the initial option agreement still hold big positions. They've been loyal shareholders. Management has about 1.5%, maybe 2%. And we look to build on it with future investors, strategic investors as well. We've had 2 strategics come to the table. Again, did extensive due diligence. They wanted to take part, but then they wanted too much offtake, and we sort of pushed them away. It was a little bit too early.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I see it also. Super. Well, that sounds like a very compelling story. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I would say the world needs your rare earth elements.
Yes. Thank you so much. Pleasure to speak with you.
All the best. Thank you. Merry Christmas. Thank you very much. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that was Craig Taylor, the CEO of Defense Metals. And you heard it. This is the first rare earth element story we are interviewing here in London. And those are really sought for because the Chinese are controlling 80 to 85% of the market, and you see it here also with those strong magnets. That's exactly where you need the neodyme, the praseodymium, etc. And I think it's fantastic to have that in Canada, just in front of the door of all the car makers, the battery companies, which really need that stuff, because without those metals, a e-vehicle would not really work. So we need that. We need a lot of that, and I think the company is on the right way. PFS they are financed through that, and I think with the PFS in April done, that looks really, really different, because I could imagine the numbers would be even better than in the PEA, and then go straight to the feasibility study. That's exactly how it should be. 5 million in the bank, that is also really fantastic. So things are running. Really check it out. It's in beautiful Canada. Thanks for watching us. Bye-bye from London.